Hello YouTube, Aaron here, or claudemods, which is my online name, with a new video. In this video I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've done in the background, and basically I want to explain where I've come from to where I am now, what I do, and hopefully that sums up some of the things that people don't know about me. So I'm 29 years old and I currently live in Manchester. I'm originally from London, which is why I haven't got the Manchester accent. But um, over the last 5 years plus, I've done many things, and uh, around that is software testing, game testing, software building, music making, GTA 5 mods. I've made music from stems in Fruity Loops to making vocals on top of these beats, and then downloading other people's free beats and put vocals over them. Although that was something that I never really wanted to put on the internet. I did put my own beats that I made, which were jungle, drum and bass, and donk at one point, which I lost. The jungle and the drum and bass got put online, and so did my game mods. That's where I originally started at 13 years old. Should I say? This was a while back. I'm 29 now. I was born in 1997. So back when I was around 13 is when I got into a lot of computer stuff. So around them times I was gaming with my friends on Halo 3 and also Call of Duty 3. And I used to love gaming. I was addicted to it. And I had to move away from a lot of my family because of what was going on then, to sum up what was right for me in my own head. So I went through care, and that's when I got into computers like my dad, and I started tinkering with Windows, and I started tinkering with GTA, San Andreas, GTA 3, and I used to mod them games to the max. GTA 3 was one of my favorites. You had the mod called GTA 3 to Vice City, and of course with Rockstar's legislation, you're not allowed to put one game's files into another. So slowly but surely they got deleted and removed, which was kind of upsetting for myself. But time went by and things got better. Newer games come out from Rockstar, and San Andreas got released, and I think it was already released at the time. And I started using the Clio menu for GTA 3 and adding Clio mods. Clio would run the mods, so you had like crazy, I think it's called crazy trains that used to fly that way and then fly that way in San Andreas, and all these other mods that I can't remember off the top of my head. But from there, I moved on to basically making music, and then from the music, I moved into GTA 5 mods, which I'm going to show in this video. So my online name was MapMods100, which I changed over. So there's a lot of work and things that I've been doing in the background. So my original name was MapMods100, but I changed over to Claude Mods because I used to look a spitting image of Claude. Some people may find this a bit funny, and others might think, okay, fair enough. Take it as you will. But basically, I used to look a spitting image with his jaw, beard, and everything. I even had his clothes at one point, like a black leather jacket and green bottoms, which I threw in the bin, funny enough. But yeah, I started making GTA 5 mods, and I had like better police stations. I had the Vice City map mod add-on. So someone basically made the Vice City map mod add-on for GTA 5, where the characters would move about on the map and you'd have cars driving around. But the original vehicles to the game of what Vice City would be, the police vehicles, the fire station vehicles, the ambulances, the quad bikes, the motorbikes, the planes, the army vehicles, all wasn't in the game. So I decided to use a map mod tool called um, it was called Map Editor. I'm pretty sure Map Editor is what you needed to download. Well, all of these are the dependencies. Map mod, opening all interiors, add-on blimps. Add-on blimps is what allowed me to save the map mod that I had, and what it do, that would show, no, yeah, so I could, no, the add-on blimps would allow me to add the locations of the things that I uh, used to save using map editor. Open all interiors would allow me to open more places. Um, or was it extra things? Oh, it's been a while now. I even made my own OpenIV install script. So like you would use OpenIV and it would have its own GUI installer for OpenIV. Back then there was I don't know what's going on with this system. My screen looks funny, but funnily enough, you can see things fine. I am using my gaming handheld. This was working fine yesterday. I tried to make this same video. Um, so yeah, I basically made it for Vice City and also made it for GTA 3. Uh, where all everything would be like normal. Even some extras like helicopters in the airport, which you would never find. The boats would be in their original place. The cars, similar cars to what they had back then. This for me was just something for fun. And um, I made other mods as well. I've most recently made a Redux for GTA Online. It's a legal Redux. Uh, I got into like sound mods that wasn't really good. The Ultimate Crew. This is basically where it started. I made a Vinewood Garage mod, and basically it would have a door there that would open up and have people behind it. I'm not sure if there's any other photos. Um, Yeah, so you'd have come in here and there'd be people and cars. And I thought, well, if I can do this, then I can make something bigger, which is when I moved on to the crew and car meet, which is a lot more locations and things. And you'd have players playing guitar, smoking a fag, smoking a zoot, drinking a beer, like as you can see in the middle here and at the end. And we had like police cars and stuff there, which got me into some other things. So I had like the army base version of it, which would add random army bases around the map. And um, then I moved on to like the police stations, and I started adding better police stations around the map and adding cars and gates and things. This for me was like the peak of my modding um, days. So there is a lot on here, a lot of downloads. Back then, I was getting myself known for providing free mods for people to have fun with, and for me, it was fun to provide what I used to build for myself and have fun with. But as time went by, I slowly but surely come away from the modern scene, and I got myself into Linux at one point and one stage. So um, we're talking about closer to the time of where I am now. Before all of this, I would have done Windows testing for Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, and Windows 11. I tested all of them versions before they come out, and I haven't even done anything like this. Then we done the music. Then we got into the mods that we're talking about now, not this one, of course. And then I got into Linux, which is pretty much the basis of where we are now. So with Linux, I downloaded Nabara. That's the first thing I ever tried. And Nabara for me, it was named to be one of the best gaming distros. I tried Garuda, I tried Nabara. There was plenty on the table back then. This was probably about 4 years ago now. Linux was very unstable at the time for Arch Linux, because that's what I wanted to get on. I read a lot of information to say Arch Linux is the best for uh, bleeding edge hardware. I used to run on Ryzen at that time, so I thought, okay, I'm using Ryzen. It's time for me to now move on to Arch after Nobara, because I was building a theme on Nobara, um, but for me, Nobara just wasn't enough. I needed to tinker more. I needed to learn more. I needed to use something that I believe to be the best at the time. Now that is very opinionated. There's a lot of people that are now going to hate and say, "Oh, it ain't the best." There's a lot of other better distros that have built better out of the box, because Arch is a lot of tinkering and customization, which is what I love. I love to tinker and get what I believe to be the best, to package what I believe to be the best. So I started tinkering with Arch, and I was using Penguin's eggs to clone Arch into an ISO I could install at a later date. And for a lot of you that already follow my channel, you know that I make my own distribution. This is called Spitfire. This is what I originally made on Arch. And I originally would use Penguin's Eggs to clone that into an installable ISO in Plasma 5 days. Now, time went by and Penguin's Eggs kept breaking. For some reason, I got in touch with the developer Perio and I asked him to fix this and fix that from time to time. It just got more and more annoying for me. So I decided to fork the Penguin's Eggs tool and make my own. And that was somewhere down the line, probably about a year later, 3 years later, after using his tool countless times. I started supporting Ubuntu and Debian, and I even provided a version of my tool that would clone both of them. And after a while, that broke the Debian and the Ubuntu side. But I used to build Plasma from source, and I would clone it into an ISO, and I would try and basically build my own distro from dev packages, which is why I've managed to solve that, and I provide a dev version now. But I would be building loads of different things. So like I would try and Frankenstein Ubuntu to have the latest version with the latest KDE, well, with the KDE packages, latest KDE packages at one point, and I'd have like an OpenRC Ubuntu that I was building, and it worked perfectly fine, but I couldn't use Calamares because of the Python mismatch. And I was doing loads of tinkering. I was up night and day, 12 hours to 18 hours a time, sometimes less, sometimes more. And it was really draining me at the time. I got to meet someone called Robert, um, and well, then I sort of decided to make 101 different distributions under different names, thinking, okay, it's okay to make Man of War in gold. I'll make Spitfire in this color on Plasma 6. I'd make Lancaster and Ubuntu, and I'd make Hawker in Ubuntu. And we've got all these different names that are named after World War II planes. Man of War was named after a pirate ship. Apex, which is the blue version of this, I still can't get my head around. I think it's named after a bird, or no, a mountain, but I used the logo of a bird. Everything I've built has had a reason for it around Linux, like a name. So Spitfire's named after the Spitfire plane. Hawker was named after the Hawker plane. Lancaster was named after the Lancaster bomber. Uh, we've got all these different names for my Linux distributions that I built. And I started making loads of widgets and things around that. So now, like, we've got my own app images. I built a Facebook app image, Facebook Messenger app image, Telegram Messenger app image, even though they do provide one. A WhatsApp version. Discord is custom built. HTML viewer is custom built. This YouTube app is custom built by myself. Also have a Netflix, DeepSeek, that isn't by me. Apex browser is a custom browser by myself that I built. If we come here and go to the settings, you're going to see my name. Apex browser, what Apex is what I build. I used to have like all the. I was building this to what I wanted it to be, and it's not the best, but it's a decentralized browser, if anybody knows what that is. I also made a KDE store app image, so it'll take you to the KDE store. Um, we've got all these different things and custom apps that I install in my distribution that I used to provide through an ISO that I cloned using Penguin's Eggs and then my own tool. I gradually, over time, got to learn how to do newer things and better things to make it easier for me to give people what I provide. So I decided not too long ago to build a script that would create an ISO using a script to build everything from packages you download. So now we're talking about a tool called claudemods distribution ISO create a beta, which is going to have a rename and be recreated. Due to the rename, it's going to be called claudemods distribution creator, because I'll tell you why that's going to be changed in a minute. But essentially, this tool here, you download it on a Arch system, and then this will build an ISO from the whole script And this took me ages. I had 1.0 out, and 1.0 was built in a way that was just very unlogical for what I needed it to be. So I built 1.1, and that took me ages. I was up night and day building this script, trying to get it to how I need it, and it works perfectly fine now, other than a few issues here and there where the packages, as you can see in the changelog, packages need to be updated from time to time, and that has been the only thing that's really needed to be updated for a while. The package list, the package list, the package list, the package list. I might add a few new things that I find, like I wanted to. Um, so like you can see hidden files. There was a specific um, XAT TR, I believe, X attribute is it, that I had to add the other day. Yeah, setting for showing dolphin hidden files now fixed. You had to add an X attribute to a folder within the system for it to then read files that are hidden. And it's something that Plasma do behind the scenes, but this is primarily for my own distributions, not um, CachyOS, because I only provide CachyOS as a default. Uh, as it would be OME out of the box. And my distributions is obviously how I build it with all the different customs. So like you've got a developer version, and you've got a normal version, and you've got the full, and you've got the minimal. I'm currently on the full with the latest dev packages that I provide, should I say. But most recently, the script version for me just wasn't doing it. Everyone's got to build their ISO. After downloading packages, it can take 20 minutes to compress the packages into a squash. Well, the system that's built from packages into a squash FS, and then create an ISO. So I most recently have built a script, and it's in the files here. If we go to main branch. It's called Inside My ISO. That's what we've got. All the files work perfectly fine. I've had to do some tests over the last 3 days, and essentially what this is this script is inside of an ISO that I will be providing, and I will upload the update the GitHub repository for this file. This file is only 750 megabytes, because this is a custom built ISO by myself. It was originally only 600, but it's a bit bigger now because we've got my script inside it. But this essentially does the same thing as the last script, but you don't have to build an ISO. It will install the distributions that I provide. So we've got a basic Arch install, we've got OME CachyOS, and we've also got my own distributions, but from within this ISO. So this is kind of what I want to show in this video, apart from the fact that I wanted to talk about some of the things that I've done in the past to where I've got to now. I've always said in my videos, um, I'm not a professional, I'm working on it. And with me, I like to stick to evolution and keep with the times. Things change, I change. If my menu breaks tomorrow, then I'm not going to know about it unless I'm using the dev packages, which is why I provide a dev package version of my distribution. And in the past, I had to build that manually and then test my menu if it broke. I'm forever having to update my system to the latest trends and the latest things that get released, which is why I now provide the KD dev packages. And I want to do this for CachyOS so people can have a CachyOS dev version and also an Arch dev version. I'm going to integrate that into the script because there's two versions of it now. But for the meantime, everything just works. So without further ado, I want to move on to showing my new script in a virtual machine. We're going to install CachyOS first, and then we're going to install mine. We won't do the Arch because that might take a bit of time. It might take 45 minutes to do the whole process of CachyOS and then mine. But yeah, what we're going to do is I'm going to play my favorite song for today, and we'll get the ball rolling. password for this ISO is 2026. Username with the tutorial. For selected desktop KDE and then reinstall. I'm going to set this to loop. Right. How do we do that on here? Right, we're just going to set it to loop.
Hey, give me that drop there.
I think for my distribution, I might just use my other internet because this is the slower internet on this one, whereas this is a lot faster. Should have had it set up that way at the start. Yeah, we're going to want to block that as well. Recharging. We need to download 2.5 GB. This is not a problem. Please do not install the system that's in the ISO. Only use this script if you're going to be using this ISO, because the ISO system itself is heavily Frankenstein to be as small as it is. And I actually built that from packages itself. I had to do some crazy stuff for it to auto log in and stuff. But the script itself is going to install its own system, so there's no need to worry about thinking, oh, I'm going to get a Frankenstein system from Frankenstein ISO. It's different files, of course. But yeah, there is a tool in the ISO to install the system that's in the ISO. Please don't do that. ISO is not for daily use. It's only to install this system. If I was to do this from a regular Arch ISO, I would have a 1.1 GB ISO, if not bigger. And that for me is not what it's about. I need the smallest ISO with my script installed to then um, install my
Hey,
system.
hear me now, drop that.
So I don't know what's going on. We obviously want the system today. Tuning's being a bit slow. Um, but we'll have it at some point, I guess. I think we'll pause the music because I don't want to annoy people playing the same thing 24/7. But yeah, like I was just explaining, I don't know if you heard over the music. Please do not install the system that's in the ISO. The script itself is going to install packages of a system onto a new system. There is a script that's in the ISO that allows you to install the system that's within the ISO. The system in the ISO itself is not for daily use. It's actually a heavily Frankenstein system built from packages in it and set up in a way to have a smaller system whilst installing my distributions or one of the different options that are in my script. If I was to do this from a regular Arch ISO and build it from a regular Arch ISO, I'd be looking at 1.1 or above. And this itself, the ISO was built from packages within with a script that I built, and then I basically modified it to auto log in, and I removed some stuff that didn't need to be there, as and obviously tested it to make sure that it worked the way that it needed to be. So obviously it's going to overcomplicate things saying that in this video, but I just thought I'd say that anyway because obviously there's a lot of people that know what I do. I do a lot of testing, I do a lot of Frankensteining, and I just build something stable at the end of it. And if it's never going to be stable, I wouldn't release it. So, of course, I just thought I'd just give a disclaimer to not install the system using the script that's in the ISO. Um, from the ISO. Do not install the system that's in the ISO using the script that's provided. Only use the script that we're using now to install a fresh system built from the packages that's in my repositories. I know it's overcomplicated saying that, but I need to kind of say that anyway. If I was to build this system, if I was to build my script in a regular Arch ISO, I'd be looking at 1.1 GB and above, and that is just not good for me. I need the smallest download possible for you to be able to install my system that I provide. And that's why I provide a six. What is it? Is it a 700 megabyte ISO now? It used to be six, but it's because my script itself has a bunch of stuff that's needed, and just downloading the extra stuff that's needed is just overcomplicating the process. I want it to be as fast as possible for people. So yeah, the way that this ISO used to work before I customized it to have this script was that it would download SquashFS files from my Google, I believe, and then it would install the system from the SquashFS file instead of using packages like we've got in the list there. Well, now I've converted it to use the package lists, and this just works perfectly fine. You know, it's a lot easier. Um, in fact, you get the latest packages as well, so you know there's some benefits to it. The only downside is that you've got a Frankenstein system. Um, and a script inside that that you can use to install the Frankenstein system, which is why I gave the disclaimer. So I shouldn't have really said that, but I thought I'd say that anyway, and I can just brag about the fact that I've built this from a custom script using packages, and then done what I needed to do with it to make it small. It works perfectly fine, as you will see in the video, and that's the difference between me and maybe someone else that makes a distribution, installer, that's a TTY installer. They're going to use a regular Arch ISO that's 1.1 GB plus, and I'm going to use a Frankenstein system that's only 700 megabytes. Why not? If you can do it, then do it. That's the way I see it. It's not like you're installing the system that's provided in the ISO. Because that itself would be stupid. You'd have a Frankenstein Arch system that auto logs in and basically primarily only has um, a script to install other distributions. And if you was to install a system on top of that, you'd only get the system size that you would get at the end of the day anyway. If you installed KDE on top of that system, you'd only get the normal size KDE system. You're not going to get any smaller just from downloading a smaller sized ISO. It's only primarily for installing a system using this script. But yeah, that being said, I'll just leave it at that. Enough bragging. Um, we are nearly done. We're at 2 GB out of the 2.5, I believe, is what the size said. We've got 1,152 packages. I believe when we get to about 2.4, that's when we get the other 1,000. But yeah, me myself, I might look at other options to provide in the future for my distribution. But me myself, I will be primarily using Arch. I don't see myself transitioning to something more stable. I'd rather stick with the times. There is other distributions that provide just as up to date packages, but I don't use the AUR for starters. None of my packages are from the AUR that I provided my own claudemods distribution. I've never promoted using the AUR. I do provide on the AUR, but I don't necessarily recommend anybody to download from there. And I never provide packages from the AUR. It's going to break the system. Um, but yeah, I don't see myself moving to any other distribution than Arch. Everything is pretty much the same no matter what you download. The only difference being is that Arch is going to get the latest packages that could potentially break your system. I'm not all for it. I might have to provide a fix myself. And uh, the main reason I use Arch is for the latest Qt packages, and KD uses Qt and GTK. And I had an argument with someone in the past that said, no, KD don't use GTK. What you want about? They only use Qt. It's built on Qt. They have application styles, which is in the KDE system settings, that needs to have GTK as a dependency because you can have known styled applications. So if we come here, people are probably thinking, what were you on about? You don't know what you're talking about. If we come to this KD system settings and we go to uh, application styles, if we can find it, is somewhere. General behavior, is it? No, it's is wallpaper colors. Oh, no, it's not wallpaper. Animation, window management, and we go to. Is it window management? Key script. Oh, I just had default applications. No, activities. General behavior is what I thought it was. Because I can only see part of the screen here. Text and fonts, animations. I shall not be beaten. I do believe it is something around here. Something to do with here. General behavior is what I thought. Application permissions, K wallet. Let me just check this to make sure this is doing its business. Yeah. Session. Oh, start as nice. We're just going around in circles, people, until I find it. I'll be honest with you. It's definitely in here because I see it yesterday, and it hasn't changed in a while. So, desktop effects, window rules, keyword scripts, desktop effects. No. Movement, windows, actions. I'm getting beaten here. Accessibility. Application styles in colors and themes. So if we go here, you can clearly see it says GNOME/GTK application style, which means that it has to use GTK. GTK is the dependency of the KDE desktop, therefore it's installed with it. Anyway, we have now installed CatchyOS. Okay, we've got a problem with the script, so you're gonna have to basically exit. Oh, cancel. Ah, we finished it. We finished it. It's totally finished. We've broke the whole system now. Cancel before we finished it. Hopefully it just works. We ain't wiped the whole system, we just installed. Okay, yeah. Seems to be working fine. The script is still being updated. One of the commands obviously doesn't work. As you can see, we haven't corrupted anything. 2026. We have a full KDE system that installs perfectly fine. All of the packages that would normally be installed are on here. If you come to apps and tweaks, I believe you can do the CatchyOS auto updater, and it will reboot the system after that. The base of the script is there. It works. It installs. I've just pressed enter. If we come back to this, it's going to have the CatchyOS updater now. There is no packages to update, so that probably isn't going to show. If we come back here, the updater is present. And we have a white theme. Okay. That being said, that's installed perfectly fine. So now we're going to go and we're going to install my distribution after I connect to my other phone's internet. So we disconnect that. And then we come here. Oh. Do believe that's my internet code. Yep. So we are now going to install my version, and we're going to do this properly once it's finished. So we obviously want to do number one, set this to dev/sda. Oh, I've done it again. Set dev/sda. I want to do ext4. Username we'll go for today. It could be anything you want. The password could be anything you want as well. Oh, I'm just defaulting to what I would normally set because I don't put anything on Linux that's substantial, to anything that I do on my phones or anything. So no one could really hijack anything from it. No, we don't want to install any extra packages. The distribution we're going to go for is the minimal, and we're going to go. So we're going to wipe the drive, and we need to say yes. And then we say yes again. Hopefully we have better internet now. So yeah, we're looking at 35 megabytes a second. Pretty decent. I think we should be done within a couple of minutes now, opposed to last time. Just get everything to load a bit quicker on this. More beneficial. I'll stick it there. Staring at the screen all day long is not good. I've been coding this for hours on end, and I know there is some problems to the script itself. At the end of it, it's not unmounting the system and rebooting like you'd want it to. There's room for improvement, and I will obviously release a new update. Just at the moment, I need to update the GitHub repository and then sit there a few more hours and build the thing again, maybe tomorrow. This is all for fun, and it's trial and error. To get to where it needed to be today, it took me 2 days of building, and I had the ISO size already built. I just needed to put the script in there, build it in a way for it to install perfect like you're seeing now. So now it's just plushing up the script. The ISO itself is there, so I just download it, install the Frankenstein system, upload the script that's inside it, build the ISO again, and provide it. That's it. There's nothing more to it. This is what I've been doing for a while, just testing and building things. We're just waiting on this to install, and I'll show you the finishing product. This isn't just for me, it's for other people. It's primarily for me. If I can get GTA to work on this, I'd be more than happy. It's took me so long to build this. GTA used to work on it. I do play some games on here. I actually used to make tutorials when I was on Nabara. We can speak about that after this. 1,335 packages. It's better than providing 5 GBs worth of an ISO because, well, this would be around about 3 to 4. The full edition's around 5, and that can be very complicated to download. And well, you're not going to get the latest packages if you download it 3 weeks after I provide it to you. So with this script here, you get the latest packages that are out on the internet. These packages are not provided by me. The KD dev packages itself are provided by me. So of course I have to keep updating them. But the main minimal normal version that's not dev, you're getting the latest packages that are out on the internet. And well, the base of the dev is fully updated. The dev packages are obviously stuck in a certain time that are in my that is provided by my repository. This for me is 5 years worth of knowledge. It's telling me that it can't find config.fish, but Everything works. I'm using the system now. It's the same script. It's telling me fish doesn't work. If we were to open the console, we're using fish. Otherwise, we wouldn't have something like this. Okay. Well, the last little process of the whole script, which is to install all of my custom stuff that's needed for it to be a thing. You know, you got my, well, you don't know, but you've got my custom boot artwork. You've got tools that I provide. Um, the colors of the theme itself is all being primarily installed right now. Um, sort of the smallest system in the world. I'm not here to, well, try and provide the smallest I can make it. Um, this is this was built to be like Windows 11. That's how I built it. The theme was meant to be similar to Windows 11. That's why it looks similar to kind of like a Frankenstein Windows 11. You need to type the password in, which is 2026. This will be the password that you set up. Um, so this was meant to be like a Frankenstein Windows 11. So we can close all the different applications and see the desktop. We've got a task manager. We've got the Dolphin. So now we don't want to make the same mistake we made last time. What we're going to do is we are going to exit to shell. Okay. And then we're going to exit. Yeah. And the command that you want to use is sudo umount -l/mount. That command there will unmount everything. If I type yes, that has now unmounted everything in that system that you built. Now we can do sudo reboot, and that's the command I need to put in the script to make it work fine. This is now claudemods Spitfire minimal, fully built from within an ISO onto a new system, and everything works as intended. That being said, the tutorial of building my distributions from an ISO is now complete. I want to talk about some of my old things that I used to do. So if we go to claudemods videos and we come back to here, when I was using Nobara, I used to provide tutorials on how to set up games within bottles. And if we have a look at this one here, it even tells you what I was using, running on Nobara, game specs, through bottles, VSR enabled, the graphics card that I was using at the time, the GPU what I was using, and yeah, you know, this is kind of where it started on Linux for me. I had some fun, with some wacky games. I can't actually see the screen that big. So I had some fun with some wacky games back then, and well, there's a number of tutorials. City Skylines, GTA 5 on Linux that used to work back then. SimCity, uh, Cities of Tomorrow was one of my favorite games. San Andreas, Street, Legal, Redline, which is kind of like a car mechanic simulator. Sims 4, Red Dead Redemption, Driver 2, Driver 3, San Andreas modded, Assassin's Creed, and then a tutorial on how to make a similar thing to what I provide. Then we had my first release of Spitfire, how to block Windows updates because I do use Windows as well, how to remove Linux and install Windows. We've got some more crazy artworked versions of my distributions from the past. And then we had some of my mods for GTA 5. And here we are today. This is where we are today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It has been a while since I've provided any sort of information about what I do and what I've been doing. If you've got any feedback, please put a comment. If you've got any wild ideas for me to build, if I see it as an option to learn and do, then I I will go for it. That being said, that is it for today, and it's a bye from me, Claude Mods or Aaron, which is my real name.